I'm going to call this one a special message to my friends. Friends, I want to thank you for listening to my music. And if you would, I'd like to tell you a little short story. Most of my life I've listened to music of some sort, and even as a small child, I remember listening to records of country and gospel songs and what we called a hi-fi back then. Oh, and I can even remember singing in the car with the radio and singing in the church choir. It always kind of made me wonder if anyone ever heard me singing with all the others in the choir. You see, singing has become a big part of my life as I start to get, shall we say, older now. I seem to spend most of my time at home now. Yes, sometimes things seem to be getting a little, shall we say, gloomy at times, and I found that if I can just sing, a little bit of that gloom kind of disappears. Like I've told you before, I know I'm not the world's best singer, but that's okay. You see, it's the message in my songs that matters most. Well, if you think about it, when I sing and when you listen to my song, I hope your mind, like mine, goes to what I call a special place. And some of all this life's problems that it sends us are, they're forgotten if only for a short time. It's kind of like going outside after a rainstorm. That fresh air and the stillness is something you just can't explain to people. You can feel it though, inside. I always say that at times I can feel the Lord here beside me. Yes, I've even recorded a couple songs that are named I Feel Jesus. Yes, at times I can feel Jesus here. Well, again, thank you for listening to my song and for sharing them with your friends and family. And may God bless you and yours, and may you have a blessed day. Yes, don't forget to thank the Lord. Thank the Lord for every day that you get. It was battered and scarred, and the old auctioneer felt it was hardly worth his while to waste much time on this old violin, but he held it up with a smile. Well, it sure ain't much, but it's all we got left, so I guess we ought to try to sell it too. Well, now who'll start the bidding of this old violin? Just one, and this is the last one, and we'll be through. Well, then he cried out, "Give me $1. Who'll make it $2? Only $2. Who'll make it $3? Well, $3 twice. Now that's a good price, so who's going to bid for me? Raise up your hand now. Just don't wait any longer. The auction's almost to the end, and who's got just $1 more to bid on this old violin?" The air was hot, and the people stood around as the sun was setting low, and from the back of a crowd, a gray-haired old man came forward, and he picked up the bow. You see, he wiped the dust from that old violin, and then he tightened up the strings, and then he played a melody that was pure and sweet. Yes, sweeter than the angels sing. And then the music stopped, and the old auctioneer, with a voice that was quiet and low, he said, "Now what am I bid for this old violin?" And he held it up with a bow. And then he cried out, "Give me 1,000. Who'll make it 2? 2,000. Who'll make it 3? Well, 3,000 twice. That's a good price. Come on, who's going to bid?" Well, the people cried out, "What made the difference? We just don't understand." Well, then the auctioneer stopped, and he said with a smile, "It was a touch of the master's hand." You know, there's many times in a man's life when things seem to be out of tune, battered and scarred with sin, and he's auctioned cheap to a thankless world who much like that old violin, but then it was touched by the Master's hand. Oh, that old foolish crowd, they never did understand the worth of his soul and the change of its wrought, you know, just by one touch of the Master's hand. Well, then he cried out, "One, give me 1,000, who'll make it two? Only 2,000, who'll make it three? 3,000 twice? You know that's a great price, so come on, who's going to bid for me?" And again the people cried out, "What made the change? We don't understand." Well, then the auctioneer, he stopped and he said with a smile, "It was a touch, that's all it was. It was a touch of the Master's hand." You know, I can remember growing up, and I don't remember my daddy ever shedding a tear until he talked about the Lord, because, well, he believed that Jesus made life worth living for. Oh, he'd come up to my room at the end of most every day, and he'd read the Bible to me. Well, then he'd always say, "Son, did you say your prayers before you turn out the light? And did you get down on your knees by your bedside? And did you thank the Lord above for another day of life? Yes, son, did you say your prayer? And did you tell God good night?" Well, friends, if you just take a minute and think about your life, I'm sure that the touch of the Master's hand has already been on you. And if you remember when you walked along the beach and you saw only one set of footprints, well, the Lord said, "Child, that's when I was carrying you." Yes, don't forget to say your prayers tonight. And best part, and the most important part, is don't forget to tell God good night. Well, friends, may God bless you and yours. And may he watch over you.